Hey everybody, I pierced my belly button. I did it myself and I'll show you it right now. I filmed the process of me piercing it because I didn't want to get all these hate comments and everything saying that I shouldn't do it myself and stuff. It is my body and it's what I wanted to do, so I didn't want to get all those comments. I knew what I was doing. I cleaned it. I did everything I was supposed to. I pierced it about 2 days ago and it's still in the healing process. It still kind of hurts when I bump it into places. But anyways, when I was piercing it, it did not hurt at all. It felt a little bit uncomfortable, but there was like no pain at all. The only pain I feel is like when I accidentally bump it into something, or like when I'm laying down and I put my laptop on my stomach and I forget that it's there. That's probably the only pain that I have. So I pierced it because I wanted a new piercing and it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I did get my parents' permission to do it. The way I convinced my parents to let me pierce myself is because one, a few months ago I did want to get my snake bites pierced and my parents were totally against it. So I actually convinced my dad to let me. My mom didn't let me. I couldn't convince her. And so this time, I don't know, I was just bored and I was like walking around, nothing to do. So I was like, you know what, I want a new piercing. Just like how when I did my hair, I was just bored one day and so I dyed my hair. I was really bored and want a piercing. My mom won't let me on my face, so I'll just ask her about somewhere else. And I was thinking about piercing my belly. So the way I asked her was, I like thought about it for like a few minutes and then I was like, you know, I can probably work for this instead of just asking, getting a no and whatever. So I asked my mom. My mom was in the garage and I was like, Mom, can I pierce my belly? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, what if I vacuum the whole house and clean the restrooms and get rid of some clothes that I have that I don't wear anymore? And so she thought about it, but she didn't have a yes or a no. And then I was like, please Mom, you know, I'll vacuum the house, I'll clean the restrooms, and I'll get rid of clothes. And she's like, okay, fine, go ahead and do it. So that's what I did. It wasn't that hard to convince my mom. Like if I was going to do a piercing on my face, my mom wouldn't let me, but since it was my belly and she wouldn't really see it, it didn't really matter to her. And so I vacuumed the house and I cleaned both the restrooms and I got rid of like 10 pieces of clothes. So that's what I had to do to convince my mom to let me. And my dad doesn't really know, but it's okay. Something that does suck about this though is that I've had it for 2 days now. I literally only can fall asleep if I'm sleeping on my stomach, but you're not supposed to do that when you get your belly pierced because then it doesn't heal right. Yeah, I have to lay on my back, and then when I end up falling asleep, I always end up woken up on my belly. So when I'm not sleeping is when I take really good care of it, even though I kind of do bump it in here and there, but that's okay. In all, I actually have 10 piercings now. I have 4 on each ear. They're both the same. And then now I have my belly and I have my septum. If you want a more detailed video on each of my piercings, then let me know. I know my consequences on having my belly pierced because it is one of the piercings that takes really long to heal, and it is one of the piercings that can get infected easily. If it ends up getting infected, I can deal with it, but I'm pretty sure it won't because my 9 other piercings that I have never ever gotten infected, so I feel like my body is good with piercings. That is about my piercing. I'll let you guys see it again. If you have any questions about my piercings or anything else, please leave them in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and always remember to stay jazzy.